What's up, guys? We're back here today with another team build. Today the team build we are doing is the most disappointing players from the National League. As you can see, we got a pretty interesting lineup built here today. We're going to start left field with the obvious choice here, which is Christian Yelich. Really just not playing like an MVP like he did the last 2 years. And the same thing goes for our right fielder, Cody Bellinger. In center field, you have Qatar Marte, who had a phenomenal year last year, but I mean, overall, this year just really hasn't been able to produce at the level that he did. So he may not have had a bad year, but that's why he's on this list. And we got Gino Suarez. The power was there for Gino really all year, and he hit 3 home runs in a game, obviously, which is why he has this card. It's part of the reason why I'm using him, because he has this card. But yeah, Gino he's known for his power, and after hitting the most home runs by a Venezuelan-born player in MLB history, this past year just really wasn't quite it. Now, a lot of these guys, you can say they didn't have a spring training, and there's a lot of stuff overall that you have to chalk up to COVID-19 and all that terrible stuff that's been going on in the world with the pandemic and all of that stuff. But yeah, you kind of have to chalk it up to that. But still, you're a big leaguer who hit 45 home runs or whatever, 40-plus home runs last year. Was it 38? I don't remember. But yeah, you probably should have put up more home runs to even... I don't even think he snuffed the top one. I don't even think he snuffed the top 100 players in the home run rankings, which is disappointing for a dude who hit 3 home runs in one game, and I'm pretty sure the bottom of that leaderboard was 8 home runs. And we got Didi Gregorius. Obviously signed a huge contract with Philly in the offseason. Many expected him to be better than he was. I mean, really, he wasn't bad, but for how good the Philly fans heard that he was in New York, I had a lot of Philly fans that I saw that were very unhappy with how he played this year. So that's kind of why he's on this list, is just because the Philly fans are not very happy with how he played. I'm just surprised he's Netherlandish Dutch. There you go. Second base, we got the 97 Silver Slugger, Javier Baez. Now, obviously, everybody knows most of the players on the Cubs struggled. Rizzo probably should have been on this list, but was left off. Contreras could have been put on this list, but he was also left off. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's been kind of a disappointing year for the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, they got beat in the first round by the Marlins. But at least we got this Silver Slugger, Javier Baez card to be able to put on this team and be able to use him. First base, we got Josh Bell. The Pirates are terrible. Bell is one of the arguably worst players on the Pirates roster. And the Pirates are terrible. So, I mean, Josh Bell did not have as good of a year as he did a second half last year. So I threw him on this team because I felt like he was really the only first baseman that really deserved it, because there was no other first baseman that really that bad. I mean, Muncy was not as good as he would have liked to be this year. But, I mean, overall, Josh Bell was the worst first baseman, one of the worst first basemen in baseball this year, and he was one of the best in the second half of last year. So I threw him on the list. At catcher, we got Carson Kelly. Now, Carson Kelly didn't have a terrible year this year, but overall, I threw off of just the fact that he had a really good year last year. Started off as a borderline gold this year in MLB The Show, and has regressed back to a 74. That was the main thing, and I was looking at it as he was a silver earlier this year, and now obviously is not a silver anymore. So that's the main thing I was looking at with Carson Kelly. I don't really know his stats too well, but he made it on this roster. On the bench, we got Pete Alonso. Didn't have a terrible year, just not as good as it was. Ahmed Rosario continues to disappoint Mets fans. Chris Bryant, I should use his 97. I actually bought it before I played the game, because this is recorded after. I bought it before I recorded the game, and then I forgot to put him in my lineup. So yeah, Chris Bryant on this team. Once again, another disappointing Chicago Cub. Eduardo Escobar is also on this team. Once again, a dude that was a gold, borderline diamond this year, on Diamond Watch for a lot of people at the beginning of the year. He was sitting under the Mendoza line. The power wasn't there. The speed isn't there. The defense was the only thing there for him, but the hitting was atrocious. And overall, yeah, just not up to snuff of what you expect from Eduardo Escobar. This one might surprise a couple of you guys with Charlie Blackmon on here. Now, while many of you are maybe saying that the season he had was a surprise, and while I do agree with that, I do wholeheartedly agree that the season he had was a surprise, I'm going to put him probably on this team and the next team and the most surprising players in a good way of the NL. And the reason I want to do that is he started out so hot that many people were expecting such good things from him, and then he fell off a cliff about 3/4 of the way through the season, about 15 games to go. It might have even been 25 games to go. Before that, he was hitting over 400, if I remember right, and many people were saying, damn, like, this man's got a chance to hit over 400 this year, and it was a lot of people like, this was the guy that we didn't expect. But yeah, Charlie Blackmon then, after that original little hoopla, fell off cliff, and really was disappointing to me, and that's why he's on this team, but on the bench. To start, we got Madison Bumgarner. Obviously, the Diamondbacks signed him. Not very good so far for him. He is going to get the start in today's video, but not very good for him. We got Jack Flaherty. The Cy Young from last year has not pitched like it. So overall, that's why he's on this team. Patrick Corbin, the huge year last year that he had, and then this year he just hasn't replicated it. The Nationals really, I think, disappointed a lot of people. Now, many of them said, Anthony Rendon's gone. Like, I don't really know what to think of that, but he disappointed for me because he was injured and didn't pitch a whole lot. Chris Paddack is next. Was supposed to be the ace of the Padres staff and hasn't done anything near be the ace of the Padres staff. I think in the Cardinals series, the game he pitched, he gave up like, what was it, 8 runs in the first 3 innings, like something crazy like that. So he obviously hasn't had the year that he really wanted. I doubt he doesn't pitch in this game for a very good reason. His pitch mix isn't terrible, but the changeup, curveball with no slider, sinker. He does have a cutter, so I mean that's not terrible. But yeah, Chris Paddack, disappointing. And then finally we got Yamamoto from the Miami Marlins. Someone who many people thought was going to be the Marlins ace this year, and it turned out that he was the worst of the 4 other young guys that they had brought up this year and last year. The best probably being Pablo Lopez and, you know, so on and so forth. But yeah, overall, really disappointing year from Yamamoto after many people expected that he was going to be the front runner in that Marlins rotation. And it was a Marlins team that surprised, but Jordan Yamamoto certainly didn't. And if anything, he was very disappointing this year. In the bullpen, I threw David Robertson in there because he's been a disappointment his entire time in Philly. Emilio Pagan, he didn't pitch terrible, but I mean, the Rays, after the Padres signed him from the Rays this year, they expect a lot more. And really, he wasn't a mainstay in the Padres bullpen. He did pitch well in the postseason, but yeah. Craig Kimbrell, y'all know the memes. I could have put his 98 in here as well, but once again, I forgot to do that. Dylan Betances, once again, I could have put his high diamond card in here, but once again, I'm sitting on a bunch of stubs, but didn't really want to. Hector Neris, the Phillies bullpen overall this year was disappointing, so that's why I threw another Philly in here. Doolittle, like I said, the Nationals overall were pretty disappointing, so that's why Doolittle's in here. I doubt he's also going to pitch in this game. I don't think he does. But yeah, I threw Doolittle in here because he's a semi-usable pitcher in this game, and he didn't have the greatest of year because obviously the Nationals didn't win a whole lot. So if you're a closing pitcher and your team doesn't win a whole lot, you're going to have a down year. Then we got Blake Treinen. Hasn't been terrible, but coming off of this year with the Athletics in 2018, in which he was virtually unhittable, throwing a sinker at like 99, just throwing gas past people, and was absolutely disgusting in this game. He is now down to a 74, and I think that's where he started this year, and he stayed there the entire year, so I think that just tells you the kind of the fall of Blake Treinen. But overall, yeah, that's the team builder we're going to be rocking out with. We're going to go Yelich, Marte, Bellinger, Suarez, Didi, Baez, Bell, Carson Kelly, Mad Bum, Pete off the bench, Rosario off the bench, Bryant off the bench, Escobar off the bench, Charlie Blackmon off the bench. If you guys do want to see more of these team builds, I'm going to have the most surprising players from the NL coming out probably sometime soon if I can get that out. But yeah, if you guys do like the video, make sure you like it, share with your friends, subscribe. And yeah, hope you guys all enjoy. I'll see you in the first game. So I want to go into the first game here today. My opponent's record is 249 and 178. Obviously, my record a little bit better than his. But here we go. We start off in the first inning with a bang as Christian Yelich crushes one to right center field. And that one's gone. Now, we are not done here in the first inning as the next batter, Ketel Marte, comes up, gets a cutter right down the middle. And good lord, 62 contact and 56 power versus righties goes Blacata against Corey fucking Kluber. But we wouldn't be done there. Then Bellinger gets a slider low and in on the corner, but you already know what happens. You throw me a ball that's too far on the corner and I will hit it. Ball smashed off the scoreboard in center field. But I think that does it for our first inning there. Baez is going to find a way to single to left center here. A little left shot there, but that would do it for the inning as Josh Bell is going to line out to third. All over this guy in the first inning. We thought this game was going to get over quick. And then especially after the bottom of the first with Mad Bum on the mound, we get a quick 11-pitch inning as we get out of the first. So I'm thinking this game is going to get over quickly. Especially when we come up 2 innings later, we put a bomb out to left center with Gino Suarez to put us up 4-0. Another 2-strike home run count. We were doing a lot of that in this game. But yeah, and then after this, my opponent kind of turned it on a little bit off Mad Bum, finding a way to single to left with Mickey Mantle. And then he's going to go yard with Yelich on another cutter right down the middle. That seems to be the thing in this game. You throw a cutter in the middle, you give up a home run. And then the very next batter after that, Honus Wagner gets another fastball right down the middle. He had been late on fastballs all game, but somehow found a way to hit that one over the fence. Then Ahmed Rosario coming off the bench in the next inning. Hits a perfect line drive over the left center wall. Ahmed Rosario, really a big surprise for me in this game. I did not think he would do well. Flaherty comes up in the next inning with Fernando Tatis in the box, and you guys already know that 122-125 from Tatis, and it's gone. Gino with a walk, then Didi with a single to right, then Javi with a single to right, and we got bases loaded and nobody out for Josh Bell, who's going to get a slider low and in at 93. That's some gas on a slider. It's going to rope it down the line, and that's going to give us a 7-4 lead, but we would not be done. Carson Kelly, the next batter, gets a knuckle curve low and away, and he finds a way to get enough of it to hit it past the second baseman. Bell's going to advance to second. We score another run there. Then Chuck Nasty comes off the bench, gets a knuckle curve low and away. Honestly thought this play was going to be a lot less close than it was, but we score another run to make it 9-4. Next inning, my opponent threatening a little bit. We throw the fastball up and away. It ends up straight up. We strike him out, and my opponent disconnects and leaves the game. Overall, this was probably the best I've played with a team build team ever. I mean, this team hit the ball well. You talk about Ketel Marte, someone I never thought was going to go yard. I mean, Bellinger and Christian Yelich, you could see going yard. Gino Suarez, you could see going yard. But Ketel Marte, would never have expected him to go yard. And then we got some production from the bottom of our order too there with the Didi single, the Gino walk, the Baez single, Chuck Nasty off the bench, Ahmed Rosario off the bench, Carson Kelly even getting in there, Josh Bell getting in there. Really everybody that came in contributed today. Mad Bum didn't have the best start. Flaherty came in, gave up 1 run in 1 inning. Trinan came in and threw me 2 scoreless innings, so that's always good. Or I guess 1 scoreless inning. He did give up 1 run in the 5th. But yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We do get the win in that one. If you guys did enjoy, like, subscribe. Let me know who you want to see for the most surprising players from the NL team build. I will be putting that out in the next couple of days. But yeah, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Put a lot of effort into it, as I always do with all these videos. And yeah, I've been really appreciating the support of these videos lately. But yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one.